결승선에 들어오는 분들은 통과입니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 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 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
결승선에 들어오는 분들은 통과입니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화
결승선에 들어오는 분들은 통과입니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
결승선에 들어오는 분들은 통과입니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이
결승선에 들어오는 분들은 통과입니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다.
Game over. Mission completed.
of maybe E Arena or Influence Rage or Arc Red, they're like, well, maybe this is a, especially for England.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we saw them not being fully prepared. Now they're starting to adjust to the lobby. Let's see if they got what it takes to.
And Shudo able to find a second against the Arena. Looks like the Arena, yeah, they're not going to have a good time. It's all going to be on those recalls for them.
There's a lot of teams. This is very packed at the moment. Weibo even finding shot. Damn, on the desync as well. The drop just catches his noggin. The Twisted Minds are all very happy to pick up the points off the back of that. Basically delivered to them. So it's Weibo versus two players here from Twisted Minds, dropping in some emergency cover flares. I mean, a little bit hopeful on the knock. Not meant to be. It does provide a little bit of cover to walk up to, though.
This is the earliest use of cover flares I think I've seen. I'm loving it. Maxman's loving it, I'm sure. He's a big fan of them. And let's see if Weibo can get a little bit more luck on board than was the case for the Arena. Nades over the top from Order, does tag onto Lord. Freak on the low ground here. We'll see how many more they need to find, but Sook, oh, of course he does. There it is, the explosive bow. Lord caught, maybe a little bit unawares by this. Freak making noise on the ground floor, and Sook once more, but is it gonna be bow, or is it gonna be UMP? We'll have to wait and see. He's got the bow out right now. He's drawing, the quiver is emptying, as he is gonna drop out. Another shot, not quite connect on that one. He's gonna lay down the law though with the rest of them, and Hero steps up with him. Teammates again, and they will find the win on that engagement. A nice little hot drop situation. They find two Elims. Twisted Minds will be out of there. Everybody will be totally fine though, Blank. We're gonna get everybody back to their feet, because why not?
Oh, Chinese Hawkeye strikes again. So good to see, honestly. He actually got quite a big tag off as well onto the other player. With the bow. I mean, it was about to happen eventually. He is one of the most successful players with off-meta weapons. Meantime, ETSH getting some much-needed points, hopefully here. Currently in 15, but I do think that the road looks very dark ahead of him. 27 points. It's a bit rainy as well, actually.
Ooh, nice little pre-fire there from Ragnarok. Knows that smoke likely to be the cover that they're going for. The recall beacon that this fight is basically next to might have been overcommitted to here by a few teams, but I think that ETSH, yeah, I think, okay, so Geeky are actually now pulling up on the recall beacon in Jadina City on the south side with Nerzed, so they can get a little bit more aggressive with this one. I don't know if ETSH, yeah, no, they do also have an outpost. I'm seeing Baby actually very, very far north, much closer towards the circle. Might struggle to get toward the recall beacon up there, though. So for ETSH, holding this fight on lock is much more important.
Absolutely. This is a case of basically being at a full disadvantage. Luckily, there is a wraparound, but now Geeky moves in. And every single player goes down. It's a good setup there from Geeky. Two angles held, and you know what? They don't check their corners. They do not check their corners.
Oh, that's nasty. Fortunately, though, Baby does manage to find his way through. This is all the way up in Heme Town. So what is this, like 4 kilometers away from that fight? He's been on the road for a while. Very looted, actually, so has been stopping off somewhere. But getting the rest of the team back up in Heme Town? I mean, this is a pretty quick rotation off the back of almost getting entirely squad wiped for ETSH. So not terrible, really, at all. And Heme Town unlooted.
I guess you could call it a rotation, I suppose. It's pretty good, to be fair. You do completely circumvent all of the teams that are lined across that northeast side. What are VP doing?
What's going on?
Oh, I think I understand. I understand. No, I understand. They not call themselves so they can get the recall close towards the circle. That's the only thing that makes sense here to me.
They did all knock themselves in Meiran, though, which is in the next circle.
Yeah.
And the last player's in the blue zone somewhere?
No, VP is still... Wait, actually, wait, I don't understand.
What has just happened to VP?
They do recall.
No way.
They do recall. But where?
I actually can't see them on the map. We've got our map feed up. You guys can pull up your map feeds as well at home. Maybe you can help us out because we're trying to spot them. They're normally green on the map feed. You can access the map feed over on the YouTube channel, certainly. But yeah, interesting decision there for Virtus Pro. Not sure what's going on with that one. Either way, we've got plenty of other teams making their way through. And I think the big news here, Blank, is that this Rondo is much more action-packed on the hot drops than we've seen from either of the other two Rondos on these starting positions.
Absolutely. So weird. So weird. There is like there's a lot of things that go into that where, you know, you get the recall beacon off wherever they are, but also they got 3 elims, and I think they heard teams like barreling it down towards them, and they were worried to hold that position as 3. So they just, maybe they were low HP as well. Maybe they didn't have much loot on board. They're like, we can't really stay here. I don't know. You know what, Seven? Please talk to them. This is exactly what you're there for. That's what I need after this game. I need knowledge.
What do you think you're doing, Virtus Pro? That's the big question that's on everyone's minds right now, because they're now still out of the blue. The analyst desk thinks that they may have been dropping back down to... Okay, we found them. Yeah, the analyst desk was right, because they were saying probably going back down to Tinlong Gardens. I mean, sure. I just think that you're in Mehran. That I don't think there was anyone really too close to you. You just loot up there. And then move from there potentially.
The thing was is that True Rippers and E Arena were both barreling towards it. So that's the only, like, I'd somewhat, is what I was saying before, and I somewhat agree with Max there, where we're saying that maybe they were worried about third party, but still it's just a very strange maneuver to pull. You're trying to limit the amount of eliminations you give across. Your player's down towards Tinlong Garden anyway, so you just regroup as the 4-man rather than have him go out early and then risk getting the res later on. That's the only things I can think of. Again, it's stage 2, so you got plenty of time to make that crossing back in with the circle moving down towards the south. They are quite fortunate in that regard. But yeah, either a brain fart moment or a real big brain blast. You know, the Baja blast brain moment right there.
Feel a real Jimmy Neutron with that one. Goodness me. I mean, you don't need 3 of your own teammates and have the vehicle explode by accident, right? Like that's a purposeful decision. So yeah, that's really, really puzzled us. And maybe we should be focusing more on what's going on close to the center of the circle. We've got a couple of teams over on the north side. This is up by Heme Town, where we saw that recall come through from ETSH, but they're not engaging in this fight. This is a little bit of a standoff between ArcRed and Team Flash, 2 teams who, well, now after yesterday, ArcRed a little bit far behind from the bubble on 3rd place, but still within thinking distance of being able to catch up. What is that, 21 and 7, so 28 points behind Team Flash right now. Definitely achievable during a day to make up that gap, but they do need to start off with a big game. And of course, have all the other teams around them do pretty poorly as well. The river that sits down that north side that stretches down from Muhopan down towards Lo Huajing is going to be a difficult crossing for teams in the middle of this circle, Blank.
Yeah, I think that, again, it's one of the areas of the map that has a lot of water involved. And this one is particularly nasty where it sort of dips down towards this valley on the riverside. So a lot of teams are going to try and confirm over towards the eastern arena of this map. But even then, it's still some uncomfortable zone to play in. This is what always is tough about Rondo, is that you do get parts of the map which are incredibly open. And that is sort of alleviated by the fact that you can create the craters with the nades, etc. Okay, Reverb. Again, ETSH taking a bit of a lesson from Geeky and playing the corners themselves.
Absolutely. Good to learn from your mistakes, I suppose. Bows now trying to stay alive on the inside. Nades are pouring in. ETSH on the rock up, and it looks like Team Flash, they're getting harried at the back as well. The backup not quite there. Finally, they do crash in. No, hang on a minute. That's ETSH, not Team Flash. But Bows is still giving it a good go. He's found one, done a lot of damage to a second, and he's still playing around in these corners. Maybe it will continue to be the case, but steps into the line of fire. Bows goes down next. ETSH, they lose Reverb on that fight. Alliance are rocking up to it as well on the north side, and maybe an important position given the circle shift here, Blank. But ETSH And it seems like Team Flash are going to have a little bit of a nightmare on the north side. Muhaban Recall is within distance, but you've got DRX in the way and Alliance, the bookend, on the other side of that fight.
Yeah, DRX are absolutely guarding that position too. For Alliance, that was a fight that I did not think they would lose. You know, that is most of the time when we see Alliance push positions, we see them just fall on their face, and it does look sad. It looks very sad. But that time around, you know, you've got 2 players knocked, 1 player still in the building. That should be an easy cleanup for Alliance. DRX, so yesterday, what a game to finish things off on. 20 elims and the chicken dinner, which did shoot them up into first place despite all the good work that was done yesterday by Regnum Kaya. Regnum Kaya definitely wanting to regain that top spot just for reputation and bragging rights, but for them, they're quite happy just to get into top 3.
It'll be good enough. Top 3, I mean, everybody would be happy with that. Unless maybe Erectum Kaya or DRX. They both want that top spot. Alliance now cleaning up the last parts of that fight that we saw there. But ArcRed, we know they're one of the few teams here that really like to third party. And it looks like they're going to do just that. Iftar. Oh, dear. Taking those knocks over towards Alliance. They fully committed to this building, and now ArcRed are going to get ahead of this one. I like this rotation coming through from ArcRed, not necessarily crashing directly onto the building, littered with vehicles on the approach. Look at that one. Goodness me, a veritable scrapyard. But instead, playing further in and encircling Alliance, forcing them into this fight. The downside is that DRX can third party this as well.
Yeah, but I think DRX still needs to hold out over towards North, and they do. They take down final player from the Flash there, which is good news. Balls are also making their way in, so I think DRX will turn attention. That is such a clean sweep. It's like the balls are coming. Oh, the balls are now knocked and all dead. Well played, DRX. Goodness me. I'm a little bit sad that Alliance didn't leave Jimmy out on an off angle. In that instance, I would have much rather they got that res off and had that opportunity to take some shots from the sidelines over towards ArcRed. You get an opening knock, and from there, your life gets a lot easier. But like you say, now you sort of penned into this one building.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stopgap. Nice nade on in, and 2 players are Alliance full. That should be this fight done and dusted. These recall beacons, yeah, you're not even going to think about getting them. Easy for Bad Boy. Does step out, though, and a little bit too bold. Doesn't clear that last player, but DRX might do it for him. Oh, dear. Alliance. He's checking. I mean, he did check the corner. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Glory, not so lucky. I mean, this whole fight. Wait, GK?
No. Look, somehow Snowick's got the res off the boss. They're back up to 4, dropping on top of DRX again.
Oh my goodness. This is getting crazy on the north side. Geeke are rocking up into this fight as well. Alliance last player is doing a lot against ArcRed with the assistance of Geeke. And as you just said, Boars are back up at 4 fighting off against DRX. We thought that was going to be a huge point bonus for them. But no, maybe not. They're going to still cling on for dear life. Another nade comes in. Oh, it's Verse Pro. They're in the circle plank against E-Arena.
Yeah, they've made it. They've made it. It was an interesting decision they made earlier, but now they need to deal with E-Arena, who are currently down on 3 players. But these initial nades are fantastic, and now Malloy has a lot to do here as a solo.
Real tall order. Malloy gets the first though. That's how you want to start. 3rd of HP gone, and will take the rest from the knock coming through from Tony K. And that is VP down and out. They get 4 points. But they have really captured our minds in the first part of this match. We'll have to reconvene with them later on. I'm sure Seven's going to grab them, pull them aside by the scruff of their neck and say, what do you think you're doing? We'll have to wait for the answers there. Boars back up into the fight against DRX, and seemingly DRX looking to struggle a little bit. With that recall coming on through, they may be able to farm a couple more points, but the Boars turning it around.
Now they are. I mean, for DRX, the thing in my mind is a case of, oh, they let it go through so they can farm more points on the lobby. I imagine you never want to let that happen, because now they've got to get further in. A nade over the top from So Easy doesn't quite tag on. But yeah, I mean, the loot is pretty limited for the Boars after they dropped in. You get whatever kit you're given. Boars now last player remaining. Not able to quite find that shot, though, and that leaves So Easy down. Pikes, they should be able to clean house, though. Either way, 8 elims. Not bad.
And that's how you want to do it. At the moment, Regnum Kaya have not been able to get anything so far. They've been quiet on the western side, one of the few teams to stay west of this river blank, and they have been keeping out of things. So at the moment, DRX take the top spot. Question is, how survivable will it be from that northern side? And a knock over towards Silas behind for Regnum Kaya, pretty nasty. That's not something they're really going to be going back for. So they're playing on as 3 underneath Weibo.
Yeah, I mean, Weibo's got that high ground. It's a lovely bit of high ground as well. I mean, you don't really only have to play towards the center of the circle here. Kike's forced to, off the back of some unfortunate starts there. My ghouls are currently recovering versus Nuclear Zone. Becoming some nuclear zombies here in the lobby.
This is one hell of a story arc, and a not so strong arc on that nade, unfortunately. Yeah, I gotta still keep bobbling them through, not connecting onto the ghouls. Godspeed in range of the shotgun, not quite. And Arthur hops back into the face of another. That's a really nice pickup and an immediate flush for Yatka. Leaving Nuclear Zone now just on 1 player alive. See if they can beat Team Secret's tally from Group Green as they crush on over the ghouls, looking to go nuclear against Nuclear Zone. Sweeping through the rest of it, but Ichi goes down, and the blue zone is causing a little bit of trouble here. Without recall beacons now, you do need to be careful, and they will guaranteed lose 1. Tried to close the door on him, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, he did.
No
he
way.
did close the door on him, and he got knocked because of it and flushed. Radioactive ghouls now looking to finish things off, but Fajita is a little bit of a strong member on the side of Nuclear Zone. Could clutch this out, but it's Kaikse from DRX actually to move on in. And the Burmese ghouls will have to do something about this. Luckily, there's some shots from the sidelines to immediately take him down.
And DRX are down to 1 with that as well. They've only got QXZ out down further south here. Burmese ghouls, they've been double third party to keep them alive as 3 and allow them to get some healing on board, but they are really lacking on that healing. No first aids remaining, no nades really there. DRX dropping that deployable cover, wanting to guard out the Burmese ghouls on this northeastern side. Regnum Kaya yet to push in. Weibo actually the team to go proactively through. And the cover flares start to establish some cover moving in. Burmese ghouls making their move.
Now, bless the ghouls with some gravestones to hide behind here. Hopefully they can make their way through the marshes over towards DRX. But True Rippers actually have a strong spot over on the eastern side. They're consistently taking shots over towards the west. Weibo did take a fair bit of damage coming through from Influence Rage. You can't really ever count Influence Rage out. All those players are incredibly good. And I'm a bit disappointed that they're not in the top 3 after their strong start of Group Red. Either way, all the teams up here are super deserving of their spot, and the teams that I expected to make it through anyway.
Yes. Spotted. Nice discipline from the ghouls as they seemingly love a bit of rondo on this final day for themselves, trying to get away from an 11th place. Still, I think, a little bit too tall of an order to get up towards 3rd place blank, but you know what that means? You're going to be able to see them in last chance. And if they get to the grand finals, they're going to be one of our most played teams, I suppose. Unless we get a gauntlet team also. Okay, I'm not going to continue to do this maths, but still, you'll be happy to see them again.
I would, yeah. Definitely a lot to go over there in a short amount of time, which we do not have, as we are coming to a close here on Rondo at stage 5, moving to stage 6 soon. Regnum Kaya officially do outlast DRX, but they don't out-elim them, currently with 9 total. Good nades from Lord over the top, does take down 1 from Influence Rage, leaving just Lil Boy up and remaining. I think Lil Boy is definitely not someone you want to back into a corner, though, because he can strike out quite wildly in these final moments. Weibo didn't even really want to touch Influence Rage after they took a few knocks from them.
I mean, Weibo are back to full force now, though. And I did see Sook still has that explosive bow. Maxman's really very happy. He's only got the 1, though, so maybe not quite there. I mean, there's the shots coming over through to Twisted Minds, having a tough time. They're going to have to move further east as well. They're regrouping all towards it. They're fully committing to a pretty much full front fight with just this duo from Influence Rage. Can't get rid of them. All you need to do is land one nade properly, and that should be them done and dusted. But Twisted Mind's struggling, and Lil Boy steps out for the spray. Weibo are taking shots out towards them as well. They just don't have any room to maneuver.
I mean, that's why you can't count out Lil Boy. He is such a good player on the squad. Really holds his nerve as well. But there's the Ghouls taking a shot over towards Sook. Finding at least one limb there over towards Weibo. And that's from up on high on the northern edge. Tony K still going his E Arena. They've been playing with 3 for a long, long while. And it's been not an easy locations. During Gauntlet, this was a circle where Regnum Kai was able to pick themselves a second place. Hoping to finish off here with a first. Considering, you know, Gauntlet was a much harder stage.
No. That Molotov started to burn, but their play zone actually got that knock over towards Twisted Minds. They're playing as 4. They couldn't get on through. I mean, you said Regnum Kaya, they came second from this position back in the Gauntlet. They did manage to sneak their way through onto this one, I think it's safe to say. Weibo didn't control them moving on in. They were all the way on that northern side, just to the west of where Burmese Ghouls are right now. Looks like they're going to try and poke their noses in too.
Oh, Little Boy's still going here. It's a good pickoff. For him, I don't think he was too unhappy with the play zone stealing away in a limb for him because he's already laddered up in towards placement points. So it's a give and take there. For Lil Boy, Gemma Backpack does finally run out of juice though, so he's going to start taking big damage. Zed Wolf finds short towards Godspeed as they attempt to rotate in. They do get Yatka towards the front line though, at least.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, Unknown gets clipped as well, so Yatka not going to be able to get them back up more than likely. And Regnum Kaya up 2 elims now, Blank. They're chasing down that 120. They want to stay ahead of DRX, and Lil Boy will finally go down to Weibo, who are playing as 3 after losing Sook. In the meantime, Kaya trying to step up, but True Rippers, I mean, on this eastern side, leaving Hydro down on the south, they've got a pretty solid hold onto this one.
Yeah, True Rippers played a pretty slow game here. I think they did a good job of controlling over towards the north side, though, to be able to confirm onto this position. And as of 4, they have a massive chance to close out this game. I'm imagining a lot of Indian fans will be very happy with them if they're able to make it happen, which by all means they should. I'd like to see a little bit more of a flex out come stage 7 as teams start to diminish more and more, and you can see Hydro going for this. I really like Hydro as a player. I think he does try and take as many opportunities as possible, and I think he has the chops on him to do it.
He's your Hydro homie going on in right now for the True Rippers. The off angle's good. I think when these two teams start to have a tough time on the south side, Regnum Kaya might have a better time of it, but that circle is just it's gleeful for Regnum Kaya right now, right? Moves completely off of that True Rippers position, and the tables are completely turned on this one. Even with 3 players, this is a game now that Regnum Kaya should be looking to close out.
Yeah, from this spot, it's great. I mean, if you do look at it, though, it's still pretty uncomfortable for Regnum Kaya. It's like an open location up a hilltop, so you have to be 360 degrees on this. Luckily for them, a lot of the teams on the outer edge are going to start fighting first for position before attempting to fight against Regnum Kaya. Good shot from Jelly over towards Sakura on the cross. Will result in 1 knock, an elim, and Hydro will do the rest. So that leaves 3 teams. True Rippers with 4, and both others with just 3. But look at all the utility that True Rippers have been able to maintain here.
Something I didn't consider is that True Rippers are holding this eastern side of the hill against any other team, and now that they are no longer holding it, they themselves can take it. That might make it a little bit harder for Regnum Kaya. Weibo really suffering here on this south side. Just could not transition further north, but still a pretty solid game for them. Getting up to 9 elims here. Blank still very much in the conversation for a 3rd place as Regnum Kaya start to pick up those elim points too. They want to try and rack up as many as possible. Maximum they can get, though, is 9 on this match. K33Z down in the divot. They will find it. The flex out's here, but is the True Rippers lineup too much to handle now? Because they have not wasted time in repositioning here. Nice and proactive.
I think they were a little slow, actually. I think they were a little slow to this. And I think they allowed Regnum Kaya to take down Weibo pretty much unimpeded. I think now the big thing is whether they close it out, right? If they close it out, it's absolutely fine. But if they do lose this game, it will be because of that slight delay, slight hesitation. That is a bold peek out coming through from Zedwolf there on the right-hand side.
I mean, they definitely did not want to get stuck into that third party, right? They moved across nice and rapidly, but after that, they just, yeah, you're right. They could have controlled the fight a little bit more. And they don't have that opportunity anymore. Wild immediately finds Hydro on the trade, and they're looking for more. Not really moving, and that nade looks pretty good, Blank. That might find what they're looking for. Not quite getting a knock, not quite getting a flush. There's an answer over towards Wild, but Zedwolf has some of his own. The cover flares start to drop from the sky, and it is necessary to get this res to keep the numbers advantage on side for True Rippers, facing off against Regnum Kaya. Both teams pretty desperate for these points. Regnum Kaya more for pride than anything to jump up towards that top spot again.
I mean, it's also kind of crazy that True Rippers have eaten through pretty much all their utility already. They were on like 12 nades, they're now to 2. Regnum Kaya have 3 more to work with. So I'm not sure where all those nades went from True Rippers. I mean, coming through thick and fast. Yeah, we're setting things up here. Right now, Regnum Kaya does control a lot of the zone to work with. But True Rippers back up to 4. How they deal with this slice across from Regnum Kaya will be determining how this game ends, John.
I mean, if Zedwolf had a nade or two here, this would be probably a different story. But this is fairly masterful for Regnum Kaya. A little bit allowed to do this by the fact that True Rippers didn't crest over the ridgeline fast enough, or at least push on towards the northern side, right? Wild and Zedwolf, they flexed all the way down south to deal with Weibo. The time was then really to try and push onto Loxy with 2 or 3 of your players for True Rippers. So they did miss that opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, as a foreman, you always take those pushes, right? As a foreman, you always take those pushes because you're more than confident that you're probably the most dominant force in the lobby at that point in time. If for Regnum Kaya, this is a very easy lineup for them. They have the peak over. For True Rippers, they're forced out into the open. For Regnum Kaya, though, it's the fact they have to deal with 4 guns to their 3. So they'll have to be very quick on the approach. And these initial nades, they only have 3 of them, have to be really on target. But there's only a limited amount of space up here on this plateau.
Nade over from Wild.
Oh
Finds
my
Hydro. A massive opener. The answer not going to be there. A little bit off target, unfortunately. Jelly's trying to flank around and find Loxy, allow them to get a little bit further forward. Another nade expended, and it's not going to find the value. Wilds does again. Burns Hydro's health bar down, and I don't think you're going to commit for this res. Maybe you look for it, but the blue zone is pushing. Another nade in, and Jelly and Loxy's fight on the northern side is popping off. You can see that fight in the picture-in-picture down below. Jelly not finding the angle they were looking for, and his position now is known. Hydro back to his feet. True Rippers, they're not going down without a fight, but we'll see if they're able to find it. Wild moving forward. Loxy still in combat. They're moving together, and there's no more nades left for Regnum Kaya. True Rippers have the divots, may be able to make some inroads here. Harsh the forward position.
True Rippers do back off. That res, though, really slowed them down, and it's a hard decision to make whether you play on as 3 there and go for the 3v3 or go for the res, but it does delay them and pushes them further and further up towards this wall, which isolates these angles
Wild.
for Regnum Kaya.
Wolf as well up on the high ground. 1 player found, but Wild's low. Maybe looking for a trade. 2 for 1 right now, but it's an even 2v2. Loxy on the low ground versus Jelly. Zedwolf goes low as well. Up against Harsh. He's going low, but he wins that trade by the skin of his teeth. Stays alive. Loxy's down though. And Jelly in a 1v1. Oh, Regnum Kaya just about stay alive. True Rippers took them right to the wire, but they close it down. A 9-point chicken dinner. The True Rippers gave them the fright of their life, and I think they had a total of 2 HP at the end of that fight, Blank. But nonetheless, that will be enough. The True Rippers could not get through the blockade from Regnum Kaya.
Yeah, very, very well played from Regnum Kaya. But again, it is that situation where you lose that player in the end game. I think that the aggressive and the correct play would